Good morning, good evening, good, wait, hold on, let me do that again. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another Monday morning art talk. So let's start discussing what we're going to discuss today. What I wanted to discuss today was almost a recap a bit on fatherhood. Now, don't turn it off. Don't get discouraged here. Don't think, oh boy, I'm not a father yet. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to deal with this. But I just want you maybe just to hear me out just a little bit about what I have to say. So when I was young, 18, 19, 20, no wanting of kids, not even thinking about kids, had no desire at all. Even as I got older, into my 30s, just like late 20s, just the same thing. Just don't even talk to me about kids. Because why? Because I was terrified of having kids and being an artist. And it's something that, yeah, I know mentally you may not be there right now. Some of you, this would be advice to new fathers who have young kids, maybe older kids. My kids are now 14 and 12. So they've gone through, I've seen, I'm in this whole different phase. And I was so terrified that I would try to figure out, how can an artist have kids? This is insane. How can you give any focus to a child and also be productive and work hard and bust your ass and all this? So I'd read books on Rockwell, did he discuss his kids, and try to find as many artist biographies as I can just to try to figure this out. And I realized that a lot of these dads were horrible fathers. You know, some of these famous artists were horrible fathers because they just weren't there. They were so busy in their own artwork, in their own world, that they had no time to spend with their kids. And it's a shame. And at that moment, you may think that, you know, I got to do what I got to do. I got to work. I got to do this. But what happens is, and it's in writing, these kids, as they go older, they talk bad about their dads. My dad was a horrible father. That's the father's legacy, not the father's legacy that he was a great artist or not. The father's legacy is he was a shitty dad. I never spoke to him. I didn't get to hang around him. So that's where I just kind of want to just share with you just a little bit about my experience. Again, some of you guys that I know, some friends of mine out there that I don't know if you watch this or not, but you have a little kid or you got little toddlers around the house and whatnot. And what I realized why I brought up this topic, I was just looking at photos that I found on my computer that go all the way back from when my kids were born. I'm like, again, discussing the chapters. Who the hell was this person in this photo? I see all these other people, these other parents. I go, oh my God, I remember I used to hang out with those people and I don't even remember them anymore, these dads and these parents, because when you have little kids, you sort of get thrown into all these little kid groups and doing all these little kid things, and your wife kind of drags you sometimes to go to these other places, and you're meeting new dads and all that, and it's a short little window, because I realized most of all these people, when my kids were hanging around with these other little kids, they're gone now. They're not even around. They're all grown up. I don't even know where they are. And it just became a phase, and it was a fascinating phase. God, look at all the things that I did or where we were that are no longer there. And now, as I look at this chapter where I am now, it's a whole different world. So it's just funny to almost reminisce as an artist and a father, and the conversations that I had and the people I was involved in that are no longer a part of your life anymore. So that's where you may be right now, especially if you have some younger kids. You're involved in all these, the birthday parties, and that's where it happens a lot too, and you meet all the new parents, and that was always so stressful. I honestly hated that. I hated meeting all these new dads and moms, and it's almost like an interview. You're going, so what do you do? There was always the question, so what do you do? And I don't miss it. Let's just put it that way. but just getting back into so parenthood scared me just because I thought that I could never maybe get to a place in my art if I was so busy trying to be a dad. But I realized, the importance and the how important it is to make sure that you are present for them. And as I have teenagers now, really, man, what a whole different zone, whole different world. I mean, you don't get the love and respect. I mean, my kids, I know they love me, I love them, but you just don't get, it's not the same anymore. It's no longer the 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old wanting to hold your hand and all that. And you realize day to day how fast all this goes by, and even your own development and your own work ethic and everything that you do, where you are today in your work, you constantly interruption just happened right there. My wife just called. She didn't realize I was recording my art talk. So now I don't even know where I was. But where maybe I was just elaborating on, wherever you are today in your own artwork, you're not necessarily going to be there tomorrow. It's this growth. It's the same thing as just making sure that, and whatever that you do, as you do start to have the, kids, so that's going to be, and it's going to be in the picture someday. Maybe you don't want kids. That's going to be your choice. But all I can ever say is make sure that you schedule time for them. Make sure that you're scheduling time for them and your work that you have to do, because your job is going to come and your job is going to go. And when you're 60, 70, 80 years old, really, you're going to say, hey, was my Emmy so much more important than my kid who doesn't even want to interact with me anymore, or doesn't even want to be around me, or I just missed out? What I'm trying to say is that it happens so fast, and your growth is going to happen so fast, and everything in life happens so quickly. Just pay attention to it as much as possible. And for myself, I find like, before I had kids, I was studying so much, and I was working so hard at this, and I was doing life drawing like crazy, and I was practicing caricatures like crazy, and I was doing everything just over the top, just full speed ahead. And yes, having kids slowed that down, and that was my fear, that it was going to slow it down, and it did. And I can't deny that, especially if you want to be a good parent, and you should be a good parent because it's one time around. And I realized that, it did slow me down, but you know what I realized that's happening now? That pace is starting to pick back up again. I'm starting to get more energized again in the sense of growth and learning and just drawing, because I have more time for myself. Because my kids, they're busy playing video games, or they're busy going off to their friends. They're having sleepovers more and more now, which is, funny. As they get older, they want to do that. Before you know it, they're going to be driving. So you can have time for yourself again. Maybe I'm saying is like, don't be so selfish to where that you feel that your work has just, you're better than your kids. It's like, don't neglect them. It's like, don't neglect your wife. Don't neglect your family responsibilities. Again, some of you might not even be there yet, and you're going, God, this is the most boring art talk I've ever heard. And some of you may be have families right now where you're going through this, and you know that you're working so hard on something that you're neglecting everything else. So all I can say to you is find that balance somehow, but just remember the outcome. Remember what the end result's going to be. And if this has any, if this was any message to you, it's just that, just remember the outcome. Just think about what I used to think about. What are my kids going to think of me when I'm older? Are they going to look at me as my dad was a shitty dad, my dad was an awesome dad? I don't know. I kind of want the awesome dad. I kind of want that connection. And I have found ways to balance everything that I do. And you guys know me. I'm doing 50 billion things. I got a lot of things going on. But that's part of my things going on is that, the family. Because it's so short. And everyone says, man, it happens so quickly. It happens so quickly. They're going to be growing up before you know it. And here I am today, 14 years later. And I remember sitting at a restaurant, hearing this woman, older woman, she must have been in her 60s at the time, and I'm not that far off, I'm 44, I'm gonna be there in no time like that. Oh, they grow up so fast. Just don't don't neglect them. I don't remember the exact words, but she was going on about stuff. I'm like, yeah, whatever. They're not quick enough. I'm still sticking a damn spoon in this kid's mouth, and I gotta feed him right now, and I'm changing pooping diapers. I gotta get out of this. So just keep that in mind. If anything, maybe this art talk resonated with you and it helped you somehow, some way, some shape. But yeah, you're gonna look back at all the people that are currently in your life right now that are gonna be gone. People come, people go. This is it, and you'll make new friends along the way, and you're gonna lose friends along the way. And you're going to constantly hate the artwork that you do or you've done 10 years ago. You're going to dislike that. But as long as you're, focused, have a direction, enjoy the process, enjoy your life, enjoy the potential future, enjoy your kids, embrace it. Have fun, don't neglect it. And again, I know it's sometimes easier for me to say because I am at home, but I made that choice. And I just want I made that choice. I was a studio artist. I was in there every single day, and I made that conscious choice to start working at home and see if I can create something different for myself. And by the willingness and by the desire and by the belief, I was able to accomplish that. Not by any other way, shape, or form, not by some divine intervention of some alien coming down on this planet and granting me something special. I was given nothing special. I have no different circumstances than anyone else. If anything, I came from another country into this country believing that it's the land of opportunity, that maybe if I just work really hard that I can achieve something. So no one's handed me anything. And it's just that willingness and that desire that you got to envision that picture in life of what you want. If you want a family, if you don't want a family, if you want to be a good dad, if you want to be a good artist, if you want to work for some place, it's up to you. You're in control of this, and never let go of that, and never forget that. And that's the most important thing. And try to, get rid of just any negative thoughts that persist in your head. I was this one guy. I was reading his book. Oh, what's his name? I think his name was Zig Ziglar. Yeah, I'm not sure. Look it up. But I was looking at this guy, reading this guy, and he said. About this whole positive thinking aspect where, this little woo positive thinking. If I think positive, I'm going to have things. And the reality is positive thinking does nothing. And you can't just say, I'm going to think positive. If I think positive, I'm going to have the best job and I'm going to get that job in the studio because I'm thinking positive. That's not the reality. What he comes down to saying is just don't think negative. Don't think negative. And don't put all these negative thoughts into your head. And that's the secret. It's not just I'm going to think positive. It's like, don't think negative. Don't bash everything. Don't think your life is going to be this tumultuous journey, or it's not going to work for you. It's not going to happen. And you're not even going to have this experience with kids. And you may never meet the right person. And this isn't going to happen for me. And that's not thinking positive. So the reality is just stop thinking negative. And everything else by default is going to be positive. So think like that. Enjoy this. Enjoy everything. That's what it's about. But you're the creator. You're the creator. Have fun. Enjoy. Explore. Create. Make it a great life. Live life now. All right. That's it. I'm crazy today. All right. Have a great one. I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care. Hello, this is Steven, and I just wanted to tell you about this cool thing that I'm doing right now through my website at silvertunes.com. It's a Skype mentorship. In a sense, what I want to do is just talk to you, meet you, tell me about things that are happening in your life, see if there's anything that I could do to help you. I can look over your artwork, do your portfolio, and just maybe try to push you in the right direction that you want to take your life and your journey. All right, so you can go to silvertunes.com, go to classes, click on mentorship, and you can learn all about it. We can try to arrange a time, set up a date. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. And I just wanted to make it just very affordable, just to open it up, because I love doing this. I love meeting people from all over the planet. It's a really cool thing, and with this technology, why not? So that's it. Thanks. Whoa! Hey! Go, go back. Go back.
Go back.
Great. Go back. Go.